Look, I know only one person voted, but that's good enough for me. So, you wanted an OC ramble, huh? Okay. What the actual... Shh. Just let me exploit you. To get started, I'm gonna talk about Riley. Riley is Arrow Ace and the wild card in the friend group. She's constantly partying and just living her best life, although she can't seem to stick with one friend group, but this one is her main. Now that you know about her personality, let's expose her trauma, the juicy stuff. Sadly, Riley has been subjected to horrible parenting. She was put up for adoption as a toddler and getting put in a foster home in middle school with abusive parents who only took in kids for the foster money. Is that what it's called? I don't know. But then around when she was 15 or 16, she was moved to a permanent home of a single woman who just didn't take care of her at all and constantly smoked and got drunk and had men over, which led to Riley being a teenage smoker and drug user. Although the woman did care about Riley, but she just valued her own wants over Riley's needs. So that is why, as soon as Riley saved up, she moved out. Also, she was essayed by her math teacher, so that probably also didn't help. But yeah, she moved out and works for UPS now. She's also a natural blonde, but dyes her hair because why not? Her and Stewie met in college and are best friends. And that's all I have to say about Riley. Next in the friend group is Stewie. No, not Stewie Griffin. Stewie's that guy who acts cooler than he is. For example, he might talk about how tough and rugged he is, but if a big buff dude were to come up to him, he'd break out in a cold sweat. Frickin' chud. Anyway, he's gay! Although he hasn't really come to full terms with it, it's pretty obvious. He's literally never been attracted to a woman in his life. Now, his trauma! He doesn't really have a villain origin story like Riley. He grew up in the suburbs with a twin sister and parents who loved him. But he has mental issues. He's very insecure about himself with low self-worth and a pushover, even though he doesn't look like it. He grew up hating everything associated with him being gay because it was very rejected by his classmates. He has no problem with gay people though, just him being associated with that. But no adults really cared about gay people except for maybe a few teachers, which is why he's rejecting it now, saying he has growing feelings for a man, which we'll get to later. But it's because he was so rejected by his fellow peers growing up. Stewie is a very nervous man, masking it with a cool, calm, collected vibe, and wishes to be accepted by the people around him. Then, he went to college and met Riley and became an art teacher. He loves everything art. That's also where he meets Kogan at the school that he teaches at. And that makes them a fun friend group to be around. And that's pretty much a wrap on Stewie. He doesn't really have much villain origin story to the character. His plot mainly exists around him being in the friend group. Kogan next. Kogan is pansexual and very straightforward. He stays more professional, but is loose around his friends. And because of his more reserved and professional wall he is built to keep him in check, he only has 2 friends. As a teenager, he struggled with a lot of body issues since he's a more heavy-set guy and has always been. So he struggled a lot with SH, and even now he's ashamed of his scars, and that's why he doesn't really like wearing anything that shows them. But he's less critical of his body now and loves his job and his friends. He grew up with a mom who did mostly everything because his dad was in the military, but now his mom is dead and his dad is alive and retired. Kogan visits and calls often, and he also met Stewie through work and Riley through Stewie, obviously. Kogan is a history teacher at the school they both teach at. I don't really have a lot to say about Kogan because he's just, like I said, most of his contribution resides within the friend group and stuff. I do really love Kogan though. He's one of my favorites. Now finally, the friend group as a whole. Riley, Stewie, and Kogan are completely different people, and it's so fun to see how they would interact. Stewie and Riley have a more sibling relationship, while Kogan is the mom of the group, and Riley is very protective of Kogan. They're like best friends. Riley takes him to party, Kogan takes her to go get coffee or see a movie or something, while Riley and Stewie kind of just chill, or they go party. Riley's request, of course, and obviously Stewie and Kogan want to kiss each other. Because of Stewie's rejection to his own homosexuality and Kogan's staying professional thing, they can't, sadly. But it's not just that. The school they work at is a private high school. It runs like a college, very professional. Teachers can't date. It's seen as unprofessional and inappropriate to the students. Even if they dated or they didn't have their own walls that they put up, they could get fired if they kiss. My poor gay babies, it's okay, just kiss. Anyway, Riley loves teasing them because she knows, because both of them told her, but the thing is, both of them don't know that both of them told her. Right? I love my OCs so much. But they love hanging out at this one, like, diner place. I did a very old drawing of it. It was not very old. I did it, like, early last year. I'll put it right there. But it's one of the few drawings I have where I actually add a background. But that's where they usually go and hang out together, or they'll go crash at Stewie's place or Riley's place. They never go to Kogan's place, though, because Kogan, lives in an apartment, and he's kind of ashamed of it because he, like I said, he strives himself to be professional. I've said this so many times, and he also has trouble sharing his emotions. My stutter is coming back. But living in a messy apartment isn't very professional. So, yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much the whole friend group. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. Bye!